Welcome guys to Picama Stitches. Today I'm going to be showing us how to make this trendy bubu dress with zigzag neckline. So let's get right into class. So this is a beautiful Ankara print I'm going to be using. I have 6 yards. I think I had just half yard left. So you're going to be needing 6 yards of Ankara print. So let's go ahead and fold. I've gone ahead to fold my fabric. It's on a fold of 4, fold of 2, okay, like you've seen for the front and also for the back. And then on fold, what I have here on fold is 22.5 inches, okay, in order to have a long length of 63 inches, okay. I worked with a length of 63 inches, so it depends on the length you want. If you're folding by 45, you will have a shorter length, okay. So after determining the width and the length, we're going to be adding to this width in order to create our ruched shoulder, okay. So for the neck width, I'm going to go ahead and mark our initial 3-inch neck width like we always do, and then at this opened part I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch in order to create our shoulder slant. Please pardon me guys, I don't know why my shoulder slant has been coming out this way for the past few days, but I know by the power of God I'm going to correct it. okay, I'm going to work on it, but I think this one came out nice, okay. So just go ahead and create your shoulder slant. You can use 1 inch or 1.5 inch to slant your shoulder. Now after creating our shoulder slant, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be marking my body measurement. That's my shoulder to bust point, shoulder to waist point, and shoulder to hip point. Now this wasn't really necessary for this tutorial. I only really needed the hip point in order to know where to create our cuff for our extended sleeve, okay. So kindly ignore the bust measurement and the waist measurement. It's not really necessary. So from the waistline, I just came down by 9 inches to get my hip point. So this is the only relevant line. After getting your shoulder width and slanting your shoulder, just go ahead and extend your hip line. Mark your hip line only. Kindly ignore the bust and the waist line. But I marked it while making this tutorial. I don't really know why, but I did. So I want to use this opportunity to say thank you so much guys. I'm really overwhelmed by the love, the support on this channel. I'm more than grateful, and I'm praying that God will bless each and every one of you for liking, for subscribing. Last month I had over 40 something subscribers, and I want to say may God bless and reward each and every one of you for taking out time to appreciate this sacrifice. May God reward you all in the name of Jesus. Amen. So back to our tutorial before I become a pastor now after getting my shoulder to my hip point, okay, we're going to be creating a cuff for our extended sleeve. This is how long our sleeve is going to be. Now what I have here is 27 inches. Now I want this extended sleeve to get to 30 inches, but I marked 31 inches, okay, half inch for joining the sides of both sides. So I marked 31 inches. So what you're going to do is from your shoulder slant, go down to 30 inches depending on how wide you want your sleeve to be. If you want it to be shorter, you can do 25 inches, okay. But that's the beauty of this style. It has this extension at the sleeve like you saw on the thumbnail, okay. For us to get that effect, your sleeve has to go down some more. The opening has to be wider. So I used 31 inches. So this line here is my sleeve extension line. This is where my sleeve is going to end, okay. So I'm going to show us this, a trendy bubu. You would love it. So at this point, this is where you're going to be marking your hip measurements divided by 4 so that you can move your legs freely. You can go ahead and just mark your hip divided by 4, but I just decided to add 1 inch of ease to it, okay, for movement, for easy movement. But you can go ahead and just mark your hip measurements because at this point you're at your knee, okay. You can use just your hip measurements and you will be fine. but for each purpose I just have to add 1 inch to that, and I'm going to extend out hip measurement plus 1 inch all the way to the hem of my fabric. That's exactly what I'm marking at this point. So just go ahead and do the same. From that, your extended sleeve part at the lower part, go ahead and mark your hip measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch and extend. Now I'm going to curve this part so that it comes out smooth like you're doing an extended sleeve. Okay, I'm going ahead to curve that part. So our sleeve is going to begin from here to that part. So but we're going to be adding some more fabric to this in order to get more ruchness, to get the effect you saw on the thumbnail. We'll get to that later, but for now let's work on our neck width and our shoulder. For the neck width, I'm working with 4 inch by 1 inch for the back neck width and neck depth. Okay, now the neck width for the front is going to be the same, but for the depth I'm going to be working with 7.5 inches. Okay, but I later extended it some more. If you want yours to be deeper because of the zigzag neckline we're going to be creating, you can extend it, but I'm just marking this for now. This is not the neck width depth we're going to be using, sorry. I'm going to be altering this neck depth later, okay, because we're going to be making a zigzag neck depth just for the front. So I've gone ahead to cut out the back neck depth, and I'm cutting out my shoulder slant. I'm going to show us how to extend this sleeve in order to get more fabric there so you can get enough ruche effect. Okay, so in order to get that, I'll bring in extra fabric. So I've gone ahead to bring in this fabric. We're going to be measuring from this shoulder point to where you made this your curve. So from that, the shoulder slants to that point, I have 30 inches. So I have this fabric on fold. Now this is going to be determined by how ruched you want your shoulder to be. If you want it to be up to 35 inches so that when you ruche it you have more ruched effect, you determine how much fabric you're going to be adding to this. So can you see what we have here? Now I think I'm going to be adding just 10-inch fabric to what I already have here. Remember when we folded our fabric, it was 22.5 inches. So after taking out your neck width, you can imagine how much we have left, and I'm adding 10 inch of fabric to this. You can imagine that. So it depends on how crazy you want to go about your sleeve. Okay, this is a rich anti-bubu dress. If you use a Mikado fabric for this, it will also come out very beautiful. So can you see, I want to use 10 inches. Okay, so in order to cut this into 4 different parts, because we're going to be attaching to the 4 open parts of this bubu, I'm going to be folding this in order to cut 4 different pieces to join on all the open parts. Okay, so just go ahead and cut out a fabric that's going to be enough from your shoulder slant to where you have the curved part, and when you have that, you determine the extension you want. I used 10 inches. You determine the extension you want, and then you go ahead and add that. So can you see, I'm going to go ahead and open this up again at this center part in order to have 4 pieces. So guys, if you've watched this tutorial up to this point and you've not liked this video, please, you're not doing the right thing. Okay, I humbly appeal that you give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe and share to your friends and other fashion designers or tailors, because I know it will be helpful. So you see, we have 4 pieces, and these 4 pieces is going to be for the 2 for the front, 2 for the back. So can you see what I have? When I overlap this by 1/2 inch and stitch it down, you're going to see the extension we have. Now measuring from my neck width here, okay, and overlapping this by 1/2 inch, when I measure from this part all the way, can you see what I have here? I have almost 30 inches. This 29.5 inches. So you can imagine how long the sleeve is going to be. It's a statement on its own. Okay, I'm going to join this with 1/2 inch, but I'll go ahead now to cut out the lower part. Okay, Just see the way I'm going to cut this. Follow the curve and then you cut this out. Please kindly like this video and also subscribe. I really appreciate you guys for staying on this channel, for subscribing to this channel, for watching our tutorial. May God bless you. I'm never getting tired of praying for you guys. May God greatly bless you guys. So if there's any part that is not really clear to you, just let me know in the comment section. Go ahead and cut out belts. So for my belt, because we're going to be attaching inner belts to this bubu in order to get the waist snatched, so I'm going ahead to mark 4-inch belts. Now width of fabric, after cutting out 4-inch, when you fold it into 2 and stitch with 1/2 inch, you're going to be left with 2 inches, okay, for your belt. So I'm cutting out a 4-inch width of belt, and the length I have here is 30 inches, okay. So I'm going to cut out 4 pieces. You need 2 for the front, 2 belts for the back. So I'm going ahead to cut this out. So just go ahead and cut your belts. That'll be long enough for you to tie, but make sure it's 4 pieces because we're going to be tying to the front and also tying to the back. Please, if there's anything that is not clear to you on this tutorial, kindly let me know in the comment section. So after cutting this out, can you see what I have? I'm going to use this for my belt. You fold it into 2 on the wrong side, stitch with 1/2 inch, and then you flip it out to the right side. So now we're going to go ahead now and create our zigzag neckline. I have this fabric. I've gone ahead to add my stay to this fabric, my hair stay. So the length of this piece of fabric I have here, the length is 12 inches. Okay, the length is 12 inches. Remember, my neck depth is 8 inches, okay, and then the width here is 10 inches. So you're going to take more than your actual neck depth, okay. So I'm going ahead to notch the midpoint. We're going to be doing our marking on the wrong side of this fabric. Go ahead and notch the midpoint. Now this midpoint will have to align with the midpoint of your main fabric when we're sewing it on our main piece of fabric. So I'll go ahead and then fold this properly for us to do our marking on the wrong side of our fabric. So can you see this? I've gone ahead to add stay to this for more structure. So go ahead and add stay to yours for it to have more structure. So after doing that, I'm going to be marking the neck width that we marked on the main fabric. Remember, we marked 4-inch neck width, okay. So you're going to go ahead and mark that same 4-inch neck width at this point, and then for your neck depth, we're going to be marking 3 inches for now. Now we're working only on the front neck, okay. We've gone ahead to cut facing for the back, so we're working on the front facing only. So this is 4-inch neck width and 3 inches neck depth, okay. So after doing that, we're going to go ahead now to create our zigzag design. From this neck width part, come down by 1.5 inch. Remember, 1/2 inch, we're going to use it to join the shoulders. Then 1 inch will be straight before we start creating our zigzag design. Now from the midpoint of this our facing, I'm marking 3 inches, okay. I'm coming down to mark 2.5, okay. I'm just creating random design. Then remember to create your neck depth, okay. The neck depth at this point I marked 7 inches, but while sewing I decided to extend it back to 8 inches, okay, because after taking out 1/2 inch it will be short. It depends on how deep you want the neck depth to be, okay. So from this 1.5, we're going to go ahead and create our curve. Can you see the way I'm curving it? If you want yours to be more, you can actually create more, okay. From the shoulder, come down by 1.5, and then inwards I marked 3 inches for the first zigzag, 2.5 for the second zigzag. Now if you want yours to be really big, okay, your zigzag design to be big, you can do more, okay. I'm explaining this again. 1.5 inch from the shoulder, okay. Remember, you use 1/2 inch to join. Now at this point I came inwards by 3, at this point 3 inches. Can you see at this point 2.5 inches, and I connected straight to the v-neck area. I hope this is really understandable. If it's not clear to you, just let me know in the comment section. Now I'm just going to go ahead and create just a round shape for my facing. I don't want it to be square, just straight. I want my facing to have this curved effect, so that's why I'm creating this curve, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. So thank you so much guys for watching this tutorial. I really appreciate you. So just kindly watch the way I'm cutting this. The neck area is straight. I'm creating the first curve. Remember, if you can watch carefully, the second zigzag curve is smaller than the first one. It's just a design I intentionally made because the first marking I took inwards was 3 inches. Okay, the second one is 2.5, so it's smaller. But if you want yours to have the same shape, go ahead and mark the same thing. Please, if it's not clear to you, just let me know so I can make another illustration on how to achieve this. So when we open this up, can you see what we have? Very simple and beautiful. So we're going to be using this now to place on our main fabric to sew up our V zigzag neckline. Sorry. So this is our front piece. Okay, I've gone ahead to notch the midpoint, and then I already have a line at the center which guides me as well, and also shows me that this is the midpoint of my front piece. Can you see the line at the center? Okay, and I've already notched the neck area as well. Sorry. So I'm going to bring in my facing, and I'm going to be placing it right side facing the right side of my front piece. Just place it the way you see me do. Ensure the center, the midpoint of your facing is on the midline of your front piece. Okay, everything has to match perfectly. Can you see what I have? The midpoint has to be in sync. You can go ahead and use your pins to hold this in place. Now follow what I'm showing you. Where you see my finger, that's how you're going to go and stitch on your sewing machine. So I'll stitch that, and then I'll show us what we have. I'll give this a good press. You can use your hemming gum to stitch down so that when you're pressing it will lay flat, but I'm going to be using my hemming gum when I'm ironing it. Okay, and then for the sides, remember the fabrics we had cut out. I'm going to place them right sides facing each other, and then I'll stitch down with 1/2 inch at this point. And when I'm done with one side, I'll put the other fabric at the other side as well and repeat the same thing. And then I've cut out the back facing. You should know how to cut facing if you've been following my tutorial by now. So go ahead and also turn your back neck depth and iron it appropriately. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join. Can you see what I have? I haven't pressed this out just yet. Okay, can you see the extension I have here? Okay, now after joining, I'm just going to go ahead and measure to show us. Now from this neck depth width area, can you see what I have? After joining, I have 28 inches. So you can see when I ruche this, I'll have more fuller effect. So if you want yours fuller, you can add more. You don't want yours to be so full and wide, you can just leave that part. So after sewing down mine, I came down again by 1/2 inch at this point. I wanted it to be a bit deeper. Okay, now after doing that, let me go ahead and show us how to cut this out. Okay, now from the midpoint that we notched, I'm going to cut this in two. Then go ahead and follow the curved zigzag stitches that you made. Go ahead and trace them out the same way. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, I want to take this time to appreciate you one more time and say thank you for stopping by. And I will also appreciate if you kindly subscribe for more interesting tutorial that you will learn from. And if you're my old subscriber that keeps coming up to watch when you get a notification, I want to say thank you and thank you. I do not take this love for granted, and I pray that God will also bless you and reward you in your own hustle. Okay, thank you guys. So can you see what we have here? So you're going to go ahead and notch close to your seam. Do not cut your seam, but just notch close to your seam, so that when you flip it over, it will relax. By the time you fix in your hemming gum to iron it, everything will come out perfect and nice. I wish you can see the way I'm demonstrating. Okay, so just go ahead and notch close to your seam. Can you see what I have here? Do not cut your seam, please, but just notch close to your seam for a neat work, especially at those corners. Okay, take your time and notch, flip it over and iron. I'm taking my time to show us this part so you can get this accurately. Okay, can you see what we have? So after notching, if you notched appropriately, you should be able to flip out easily. So go ahead and turn them out the way you see me do. Turn them over just the way you see me do, and then if there's any point that is not coming out well, you can go ahead and use the tip of your scissor, or you can use your needle to push every point, every corner out neatly and appropriately. So when you flip everything out, can you see what we have? Even without ironing, this is so beautiful and this is so easy. I'm loving this dress already. Can you see what we have? So I'll go ahead and give this a very good press. I'll use my hemming gum to keep it in place. I'll also iron out our back as well, and then I'll show us what we have. So can you see what we have? This is looking so beautiful. This is our back. I've gone ahead to attach the sides. Can you see how long the sleeve is? And it's not visible. I've gone ahead to iron it. This is the lower part. Make sure everything is matching. This is for the neck. I've turned it neatly and folded it in two. And then I'm going to go ahead and show us the belt as well. I've gone ahead to create the 4 belts that we need. Okay, for 2 for the front and 2 for the back, like I said earlier. And then this is the front of our beautiful boo dress. Now let me show us that neckline, looking all pretty. Can you see how relaxed it is? Can you see? Look at our sleeve as well. I've gone ahead to fold this in 2. Now this is what we have. Can you see the inside? Well relaxed and neat. I'm going to weave the rough edges later, but you can go ahead and hem the edge of your facing. Now can you see how relaxed and beautiful the zigzag neck is? Can you see? Very beautiful and easy to make. Can you see this? So I'm going to go ahead and join both shoulders together. You're going to place the right and the front, and the back shoulders, place them right sides facing each other, and you're going to be joining at the shoulder with half of an inch all the way to the hem. And when you're done joining it with half of an inch, you're going to go ahead and fold the hem of your sleeve. Okay, and I'll repeat the same thing for the other parts. So I've gone ahead to join the neck width. The neck depth is not showing now, but it's so beautiful. And can you see how relaxed it is? And I've gone ahead to hem my sleeve. Can you see what I have? I've hemmed this part. I'll take out my pin because I had to pin them in place to be sure of what I'm doing. I want to show us another method of creating a ruche shoulder. Okay, so now I have this fabric. The length of this fabric is 20 inches, okay, or 21 inches. I don't even remember, sorry. But what I did was I came from the neck width here, I came down by like 3, or you can do 5 inches, and whatever you have left from there to the hem of your sleeve, that's what you're going to be using to cut this pockets that we need for our ruched sleeve. Okay, I'm going to show us how to do this. I'm going to cut this open. This fabric is actually on fold, so we need two of this, one for one shoulder, one for the other shoulder. Okay, can you see what we have here? And now the width of this fabric was 5 inches. Okay, I'm going to fold. What you're going to do is you fold the lower part. After folding it, you're going to fold this into two and stitch in place. Can you see what I have? You fold it into two and then you stitch in place. After folding the lower part twice, like you're hemming your sleeve, then you're going to fold it into. I'll repeat the same thing for this other piece. Then I'll go ahead and show us how to fold our straps. Okay, our little strips for our shoulder ruffles or ruche, sorry, our ruche shoulder. I have this strip of Ankara print and the length is also 30. The width is 2 inches. You can work with 1.5 inches. Well, you can fold it in two like this on the wrong side, stitch it with 1/2 inch, flip to the right side and use, or you can use this method, 1/4 inch on both sides, and then you collapse it together and stitch very neatly with tiny stitches at the edge. I think I've done this before on this channel. So just go ahead and create your straps for your ruche shoulder. I'll prepare the 4 straps and then I'll prepare the casing for our straps, and then I'm going to show us what we have. So I've gone ahead to prepare my strips. Can you see I have 4 of them? I've gone ahead to knot them at the edge. Can you see I knot the 4 of them? And I've also prepared this my casing. Can you see what I have? This part is folded. Can you see it's open, and then this part is sewn. I later opened up that part, so just go ahead and open up the other part. So what you do is you open up your fabric. We're working on the shoulder area right now. Ensure the shoulder seam is laying flat. Okay, so you're going to open it up at the shoulder area, and then you're going to be placing that folded part you folded on this your ruched casing. Make sure it is matching this part. Place it at the hem of your sleeve. Can you see? Just watch what I'm doing and you will get this is very easy. Place it this way. Can you see what I have? Ensure it's on the center of your shoulder line. Place it this way, and then you can use your pins to hold it in place before you go to your sewing machine. We're going to be creating 3 lines. Okay, in order for us to pass in our 2 ruching and 2 straps in. So I've gone ahead to pin this down. The first line is going to be, you're going to stitch at the center of your shoulder line. Remember, you're matching this with your pockets. Okay, do I call it pockets? I don't know the right thing to call it right now, but just so at the center, and then the next stitch will be at the edge, very close to the edge, but ensure this casing will be enough for your ropes to pass through. And then the third stitch will be at the other edge. Now while sewing, leave 1/2 inch at this other inner part that you've not cut open, okay, because we're going to be folding that part neatly. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other shoulder. Ensure this casing you have here will be enough for your ropes to pass through. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create this for both this part and the other part. Okay, leave 1/2 inch here where I'm pointing. Okay, I've gone ahead to cut this out. That's why I said you should cut it out. Cut it open so that when you pass in your ropes, it will come out at this point, and then we'll be able to fold it. So I've gone ahead to prepare my ruching on this other shoulder. Can you see what I have? I'm going to show us how I achieved that on this other part of the shoulder. You're going to bring in your safety pin and put it at the open part of one of your straps. Spread out your shoulder seam. Can you see? You have an opening. If you did the right thing, this opening should be enough for your strap to pass through. So I'll go ahead and pull in my strap for it to come out. Remember, I asked you to leave 1/2 inch at this open part because we're going to be folding it and stitching it down on the shoulder seam. I really hope this is understandable. If you're confused at any point, just send a message in the comment section and I'll be right there to reply you. Okay, So go ahead and pass in your rope till it comes out at the opening I asked you to leave earlier. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. Now when it comes out at this part, can you see what I have? Can you see what we have here? Okay, you can go ahead and take out your safety pin. Now this is what we have. So when you rush this, can you see what you will have? This is so beautiful. I love this bubu. I love it. Okay, so now can you see I left half of an inch without stitching down to the shoulder. Can you see? When it comes out at this part, you can either decide to push them in this way by half of an inch, push in the excess, the rough part, and then you lay it flat and stitch down with half of an inch. Or you can decide to fold it twice, okay, fold it this way and still lay it flat and stitch it down, okay. And then you choose any one that you like, optional, after pushing in the other part, okay. And when we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and shape the sides. Now where you're shaping is the cuffed area on the side, okay. But before we do that, I'll show us how to fix in our belt, okay, our inner belt. I've gone ahead to do the marking for the front. I'll show us how to mark on the back as well. Now from your shoulder